On August 14th, 2025, a 911 dispatcher received a call that lasted just 12 seconds. The caller never identified themselves. They never asked for help. All that could be heard was heavy breathing, a muffled argument in the background, and one chilling sentence. "There are 6 of us, but only 5 came here." The line went dead. Police traced the call to a rental cabin nearly 3 hours outside the city. When deputies arrived the next morning, the cabin was empty. 5 young adults had vanished. But the footage they left behind raised an even more disturbing question. If only 5 people arrived at the cabin, who was the 6th person appearing in the recordings? The story begins in the summer of 2025. 23-year-old Noah was searching online for a place where he and his friends could spend part of their vacation. Nothing fancy, just a quiet getaway. Eventually, he found a lakeside cabin tucked deep into the forests of northern Michigan. The photos looked perfect. A private dock, a large living room, no nearby neighbors. Exactly the kind of place a group of friends could enjoy for a week. Noah shared the listing in a group chat. His friends immediately loved it. Bob, Zoe, Hannah, and Brooke all agreed to split the cost. Over the following days, they exchanged screenshots, planned activities, and coordinated schedules. Everything seemed normal. On August 7th, they packed their bags, loaded up Noah's SUV, and began the drive. According to rental records, exactly 5 people checked into the property. 5 names, 5 guests, 5 friends.
The first 3 days were uneventful, in a good way. The group swam in the lake, cooked meals together, watched movies late into the night. Zoe documented nearly everything with her phone. Friends described her as the type of person who recorded moments before they became memories. The videos showed exactly what you'd expect. Laughter, inside jokes, terrible attempts at cooking. A group enjoying their vacation. The weather remained clear. The nearest town was 20 minutes away. Cell service was weak but usable. Everything felt isolated but peaceful. Then came the first unusual detail. On the evening of August 10th, Zoe took a group photo outside the cabin. Nothing appeared strange at the time. The friends smiled. The picture was uploaded to the group chat. Nobody thought twice about it. Until later that night. While scrolling through photos, Brooke noticed something odd. The image contained 6 figures. Not 5. 6. The extra person stood partially obscured near the edge of the frame. Tall, out of focus, almost blending into the trees. Everyone assumed it was a photographic glitch, a shadow, an artifact, maybe even another tourist in the distance. The explanation seemed reasonable, at least for the moment. But one question lingered. Why did nobody remember seeing anyone behind them?
The next morning, the conversation returned to normal. Mostly. But small things began attracting attention. A 6th coffee mug appeared on the kitchen counter. Nobody claimed ownership. A dining chair repeatedly ended up pulled away from the table. A towel appeared hanging in the bathroom, despite nobody remembering using it. Individually, none of these details seemed important. Together, they felt increasingly difficult to dismiss. Then, Zoe reviewed more footage. This time, she noticed something else. In a video recorded 2 days earlier, a reflection briefly appeared in a sliding glass door. Someone was standing behind the group, watching. The figure remained visible for less than a second. When she paused the frame, the image became grainy. The face was impossible to identify, but there was definitely someone there. Or at least something. The group searched through older videos. To their surprise, the same figure appeared several times, always in the background, always distant, never acknowledged. What investigators would later discover would completely change the case. Because the figure wasn't appearing randomly. It was getting closer. Day 5. The atmosphere changed. The jokes stopped. Everyone began noticing things. Footsteps upstairs when nobody was there. Doors found open after being locked. Soft knocks against windows after midnight. At 2:17 a.m., Noah woke to the sound of movement in the hallway. He opened his bedroom door. Nothing. Just darkness. The next morning, Bob suggested leaving early. For the first time, nobody laughed at the idea. Then came the footage. Zoe recorded a short video while preparing breakfast. At first glance, it seemed ordinary. But in the reflection of the microwave door stood a person wearing dark clothing. Motionless, facing the camera. Nobody in the room matched the description. The discovery terrified the group. Yet later that afternoon, things appeared to calm down. The weather improved. The strange noises stopped. Everyone convinced themselves they were overreacting. Maybe isolation was affecting their judgment. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as expectancy bias. When people become anxious, they often notice patterns that aren't actually there. For a few hours, the explanation felt comforting. Then Brooke found something impossible. A photograph stored on Zoe's phone. None of them remembered taking it. The image showed all 5 friends sleeping in the living room. Taken from inside the cabin at approximately 3:11 a.m. The group gathered around the phone in silence. The photograph felt wrong, not because of the sleeping figures, because of the person holding the camera. A shadow stretched across the floor. The angle suggested whoever took the picture was standing only a few feet away, inside the room, watching them. Noah immediately checked every door and window. All were locked. The timestamp was genuine. The metadata had not been altered. Someone or something had taken the photo. That night, fear turned into panic. Shortly after midnight, Hannah screamed. Everyone rushed into the hallway. She pointed toward the living room. The television screen was black, yet a reflection could clearly be seen. 6 people stood in the room. The friends counted themselves. Only 5 were present. The 6th figure stood among them, perfectly still, watching. Then the screen flickered, and it was gone. At 2:41 a.m., chaos erupted. Arguments, shouting, accusations. Nobody trusted their own memories anymore. The final recovered video begins abruptly.
The camera shakes violently. Breathing fills the audio. Someone keeps repeating the same phrase. Count again. The group gathers in the living room. 5 terrified faces. One by one, they begin counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then silence. Because every person in the room suddenly turns toward the same corner. The camera follows. A figure stands there. Tall, motionless, human-shaped. The recording ends before it moves. Authorities arrived less than 8 hours later. The cabin was empty. No signs of forced entry, no evidence of violence, no bodies, no suspects. The phones, cameras, luggage, and Noah's SUV remained behind. Investigators reviewed every recording recovered from the property. In the earliest footage, only 5 people appeared.
But beginning on the 4th day, a 6th figure started appearing in reflections, windows, photographs, and videos. Always in the background, always getting closer. The case remains unsolved. The 5 friends have never been found. But one detail continues to disturb investigators. In the final frame of the last video, enhancement software revealed something hidden in the darkness. Not one figure, but a face, smiling directly into the camera. And according to every official record, it belonged to nobody.